Are you considering sharing a first look with each other? Today I'm talking about 5 reasons about why you should share a first look with each other on your wedding day. Hi there, I'm Jennifer Cook, and I'm a wedding photographer serving both Tennessee and Virginia. My goal here on this channel is to educate other photographers, share my experiences with other photographers, and give you a glimpse into my daily life. As I mentioned before, I am talking about 5 reasons why you should share a first look with each other on your wedding day. Okay, so reason number 1 to share a first look with each other on your wedding day is honestly really just what it says. So basically, it's really nice just to have a moment to yourselves on your wedding day just to kind of be with each other. What I mean by this is that it's really nice to just be able to see each other for the first time, just you two, and kind of just look at your outfits and just kind of like look at your whole look, because you know you've spent all this time planning your wedding dress attire and the groomsmen attire and everything, and it's really nice just to have that moment for just you two to be without everyone else staring at you, like, you know, when you walk down the aisle. So for me, Daniel and I, we actually didn't do a first look on our wedding day, but I do see the value in doing a first look before your ceremony now, because it just gives you that time to just kind of like be in the moment and just be excited about that you're about to get married. And it gives you that moment alone, and it also gives your photographers just time to capture that moment between you two. And I think it's just invaluable, because what happened with Daniel and me is the whole wedding day just went really fast. I mean, that's what happens on all the wedding days. But I remember that the first moment we really had together was like maybe like at a reception, like sitting at the table together. The other moment I remember when I was like, oh, just with him, was literally like in the car, like during our send-off type of thing. So I do see the value in having a first look with each other before everyone else sees you, because that's like your moment to like just talk with each other about like, oh, like how the day is going so far, and just like kind of look at your outfit. When you walk down the aisle, like Daniel can't tell me as I walk down the aisle like what he likes about my dress, and I can't tell him what I like about his outfit. You know, it's kind of just like you can't really have that special communication time during the ceremony, but you can have it during your first look. And so it's just a sweet moment that I think is something that you should really consider like sharing with each other. I think it'll make your day just a lot better. And then you can just be excited for that, you know, you get to share that first moment with each other and not with everyone else, because the wedding day is for you. The second reason why I think that sharing a first look, before your ceremony and on your wedding day is really important is that you'll get extra romantic portrait time. So what I mean by this is that when you don't share a first look for your wedding ceremony, you obviously can't like see each other like for the ceremony, because you're not doing first look. Although some people do first touches, but that's technically a whole nother video. Maybe I'll make a video on that too. First touches are another really great way to spend some time with each other without actually seeing each other before the ceremony. For the extra romantic portrait time, after the ceremony, you normally have your romantic portrait time after family formals and after the bridal party portraits. But if you choose to do a first look, that allows you to, have your first look and then have your photographer take photos of just you two together, right after that first look time. So that allows for honestly like an extra like 15 minutes of portrait time. And so that just means you're gonna get more photos. So that's just better. That's just better, right? I mean, more photos, just extra time, like just less stressful, just another photo time with just you two, The third reason for sharing your first look with each other on your wedding day is so that you have backup portrait time. So what do I mean by this? So what if there is like a storm, like on the horizon? It's like, it's a cloudy day and it's like a little bit like it might rain. Like, we don't want this, but sometimes it happens. And what if the rain's coming after your ceremony? And so having a first look before your ceremony with each other would actually save you in the case that it did rain after your ceremony and you were only able to get some family portraits done, and then bridal party portraits, like the large group most likely. And like, what if it started raining? So if doing the first look before the ceremony allows you to literally get your must-have like wedding portraits like done beforehand. And this also gives like me as a photographer like more creative freedom after your ceremony to just take like fun, really epic portraits of you two without having to worry about, oh my gosh, I got to get the must-have photos. So this, doing photos right after the first look allows you to get those must-have portraits done like right after the first look. So that's like something I feel like is super really, it's like a perk to consider. It's like a benefit, I don't know, to consider on your wedding day. Because that way, like, if it does rain after the ceremony, you still got a bunch of portraits that you two can use that, and if your photographer or, you know, whoever you have, like, did a good job, then you should still have the portraits that you could, you know, like, hang on your wall. I just think that that's like a really good reason why you should consider doing a first look. So the fourth reason kind of ties into the third reason that I just said. So basically the fourth reason is just allows you to have those must-have romantic portraits before your ceremony. So again, that just saves you in case of bad weather happening after the ceremony, so that you still get the photos that you need before the ceremony, right after your first look. The fifth reason why I think sharing a first look together before the ceremony is a really cool reason. So this reason is it allows you to have romantic portraits taken in multiple locations. So let's say that after the ceremony, like, you have like one location you're going to go to for portraits, and you only normally have like 20-30 minutes to do portraits for just you two after the ceremony. So doing a first look before the ceremony, really, it allows you to literally be able to do portraits and at least 2 places, if not 3 or maybe even 4 locations. 4 might be pushing it, but you probably could get at least 2, if not 3 in. And so this allows you to get more portraits taken in many different locations, especially if you have like a venue that has lots of different like really nice photo locations. Because like I've been to some venues where like it was just like so many nice pretty places to take pictures, but it's so hard, like you couldn't get to all those places within 20 to 30 minutes after the ceremony. So doing a first look beforehand allows you to honestly just be able to take photos in more locations and just kind of experiment and have fun with it. And it just makes the whole process a lot more fun, and you get more photos out of it. So yeah. Now, I said that I was only going to have 5 reasons, but I decided to include a bonus reason. So this is reason number 6, the extra bonus reason. So it actually makes the whole wedding day feel less stressful when you share a first look with each other before the ceremony. It really just gives you a moment to like be in the moment with each other and just realize like we're getting married today. Like this is so exciting, and this is our moment to just kind of like be with each other before everyone else, you know, wants to talk to and congratulate you, because throughout your whole wedding day, everyone's going to want to congratulate you and tell you how excited they are for you. And while that's like wonderful and like that should be happening, like it's really nice to just have a moment where you two can just be together. Because like I remember like a whole reception, it's like it should be like your reception's kind of a time to like celebrate with everyone, and so everyone's always wanting to talk to you and congratulate you. So like even during your reception, you don't really get a lot of moments with just each other. Like the only moment Daniel and I had was like when we were sitting down to eat some food. Like I remember like specifically being like, okay, I have to sit down, eat my food, so that I actually eat my food, because if you get up once, you might not sit back down again. Like it gets that busy and crazy. So being able to share this time with each other during the first look, that's your time to just enjoy the moment and enjoy your wedding day, and just to decide that you're going to try and remember as many moments as you can throughout the day. And that way you get to like tell each other like, oh you like how you look and stuff like that, and just kind of like any like thoughts or something you've had throughout the day. So that's your time to just kind of celebrate with just each other, just the two of you, before everyone else is like celebration party, you know. So those are kind of the reasons that I think doing a first look is really, really important. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is a lot of people don't like to do first looks because they want to see each other the first time when they walk down, you know, the aisle for the ceremony, because they want that reaction from the groom, you know, like that reaction that everyone thinks is going to happen. But I don't think it would change the reaction of the groom enough for it to actually be like a problem sharing a first look beforehand. Like, well, sharing a first look is never a problem. I shouldn't say that. It's just, I don't think it would change the reaction of a groom if he already saw you. When it's time for your ceremony, in the moment, it's still like the moment, the big moment that everyone's been waiting for. So I think, you know, your husband-to-be, I think they would still have the same reaction that they had, that, you know, even if they had already shared a first look with you. Like, yes, like even though they've already seen you, I think just how big of a moment it is, I think that they would still it would still be the big moment. I'm like saying this over and over. But I'm stressing that I don't think it would change the moment for the ceremony that you're really wanting. Because like I know I wanted Daniel to like cry when I walked down the aisle, and he did, and it worked. So it was a very great moment. And I was in that situation where I thought that if we did a first look, I didn't think I'd get that same reaction out of him, just because he'd be like, oh, he won't see me the first time. And now, granted, I could never know for 100% sure whether or not what would actually happen, but just knowing how Daniel is, I think he would have still had a very similar reaction, even if we had done a first look before the ceremony. Yeah, so those are kind of my reasons for why sharing a first look is a really good thing to consider. Now, I also would never force any of my brides, obviously, to share a first look if they don't want to. So what I do is I like to educate my couples on why, these reasons why I think a first look would be really, really beneficial for them and just be an enjoyable experience. But at the end of they learn all these reasons, if they're just I still want the first time that we see each other to be walking down the aisle, that's fine. If that's what they decide to do, I'm not going to push them. That's totally fine, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing moment. But I just feel like I need to tell people about the reasons just so that they know and are aware of the perks and the benefits. I don't really think there's a lot of cons. I just think there's a lot of pros to it. So that's kind of why I believe that sharing a first look with each other on your wedding day is really, really important to consider. I also think it's really, really important to do, but I think it's more important to consider doing it. And then kind of decide from there depending on what you two want to do on your wedding day, because it's your wedding day, so you should get to decide, and I'm just going to help you figure out these are the reasons why I think you should do it, but it's ultimately up to you if you want to do it or not. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk today to you about sharing first looks on your wedding day. Next week, I'm going to talk about why I love wedding photography and why I kind of chose to focus on wedding photography specifically. So mark your calendars for that next week. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you'd like to see more content from me that's similar to this content, please like and subscribe this video and stay tuned for more videos.